morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Viewpoint on 96.3 FM. We greatly appreciate it. This morning, we have an awesome, outstanding guest here from the community, Breann. I always call her Conrady, sorry, but Titus. Hyphen, dash, slash, whatever. So welcome. Thank you for coming up to the radio ranch.
Thanks for having me.
So FFA week is this week, and you and I were kind of visiting a little bit. I know you were in 4-H, but let's talk a little bit of blue and gold. Were you in FFA?
I was not in FFA, shockingly enough. I had two brothers, so that was kind of their passion and their direction. So they both kind of took on that role. And my dad always hoped that I would eventually go that direction. And that's what I told you off air, that my dad made a deal with me. If you join FFA, I'll buy you a horse. And that was extremely tempting back then. Looking at it now as an adult, I'm so glad, knowing what it takes to take care of an animal like that. I'm so thankful that I did not do that. But I was a multi-sport athlete, so I kind of had to make a choice. But 4-H was always something that was ingrained in us very, very early. Something I did from age 8 all the way up to, my high school years. And my kids are now involved. So it's definitely continues to be huge in our lives.
So are you going to tell the girls sports or a horse?
Well, my youngest already is asking for a horse, which is shocking. A year ago, we had a girl from Texas living with us who's a really close family friend, and she rodeoed in college and had a horse and did lessons with our girls. So that kind of started the whole excitement. However, my youngest actually had an accident and fell off that horse.
I remember that, yeah.
Yes, and it was very traumatic. We spent a couple days in PICU, and we went into trauma and ER, and I think the mama heart can be okay without a horse for at least for a while. So we'll see what they decide.
Thomas can build some fence, put some pasture out there.
Absolutely. Right now, I think we'll stick with the pigs, the cows, and the bunnies, and the chickens. So we have our own little funny farm, and it keeps us busy. And I think the smaller animals will do us good for a little while.
Just a little bit there, then.
Yes.
So talk about FFA and ag, and as we all know, cheeseburgers.
Yes.
So we incorporating, from the bun for wheat, cheese, obviously from dairy farmers,
yes.
Beef, for the hamburger. So tell us about, we've got Cheeseburgers in Paradise coming up, don't we?
Absolutely. So it is coming up on April 27th. It will be hosted at Lincoln Banquet Center. And this event is our largest annual fundraiser throughout the year. And it supports all of Community Action's vital community programs, all of our resources, everything that we do in the community, the clients that we help. This event allows us to be able to do that. And like I said, we do little fundraisers throughout the year, but this is our massive one. This is one where we make the most money, and the hope is. And it's been going over for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. So this isn't new. And we are doing a few things a little bit different and new this year. Because once you do an event for so long, it does kind of get a little boring or
stagnant a little bit.
Stale. So we're changing a few things up. And we still have live music. We'll still have a live auction. We'll have all of the normal fun things that we're used to, of course, because at the end of the day, this is a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. We want to raise money. That's the point. But we also want our guests to have a good time. So
what are you going to do different this year then?
So the last couple of years, we've done a bottle grab. And we were basically, you pay a flat fee. It's usually $20, and then you get to pick a random package, and then what you get is what you get. And that's been really fun the last couple of years. But we're looking for something a little bit different. I've got a couple of ideas rolling around in my head. I haven't really nailed down exactly what we're going to do, but we've looked at doing, actually taking it from a livestock world, kind of like a pick of the barn. where we auction off or we sell tickets for you to be able to get the auction item of your choice before the auction starts. I've been to a lot of livestock auctions, and it always kind of is exciting when they do a pick of the barn to see how much it goes for and what kind of value of an animal they get for that price. So I thought, why can't we do that with auction items? And so that's something I'm kind of rolling around, or doing something similar to like a Queen of Hearts, or you deck up cards. So we're kind of throwing down some ideas that'll be posted on social media once we nail that down, but just something fun and something different, just to kind of bring some life back to the event.
So it's coming up in April, though. We got just a little bit of time, though.
Yes, April 27th. We do usually, we start selling tickets January 1. So we have been already selling tickets. There are still tickets available. So if you have wanted to attend in the past, or you usually attend, please call me so we can get you a table reserved as soon as possible. Because, of course, we need attendees to make this event a success. And then, of course, now in February and looking into March, we're really looking for donations from local business communities. One thing that I feel like I pride myself on is really giving a spotlight and a thank you to the donor. And so I make sure that I post them on social media. I tag their business. I give them a little background about their business. So I really try to make sure that whoever is donating to this cause and to this event is getting some
PR, some
PR and marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of the food, does Community Action buy the cheeseburgers, pay for the buns? So how does that, transpire actually, preparing and getting ready
Absolutely.
for this event? Then?
Yeah. So we are fortunate to have local restaurants that donate all of the pieces of our meal. So Cisco always donates the burgers for us. McDonald's is donating the buns. And then we've got Culver's donating cheese. And then we have usually other local businesses that will do another part of that. So all of that's donated, which we're so lucky to have, because food can be expensive once you start adding it all up. Our chicken wings, our famous chicken wings, are always donated by Elmaz and Martine and his staff. And then all of that is prepared by volunteers, prepared most of it in our CAPCIL kitchen here at Central Office, which most people don't know we have a full kitchen there, but we do. And so it's all prepared there. And then we have a temperature controlled truck that we use for Meals on Wheels that transports it over to the banquet center. So everything is fresh and ready to go for the guests that are coming.
So you're speaking of wings.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the wings, because the wings have a little bit of a story, you were saying there. So anyway.
Yes. So for the last, I would say 8 years, Martine at Elmaz has donated these wings. And the last couple of years, we've kind of had a little hiccup, whether I forgot to remind him or he forgot to order or whatever the case looked like. And we've actually he's had to be able to find fresh wings. And I don't know. If you know where you can find 180 pounds of fresh wings, let me know, because I don't know. But he has come in clutch so many times for us. He's never concerned about it. He's like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And then the recipe that we use for the wings is a special secret recipe. She's actually one of our board members that helps prepare these wings. She's also a local church member. And they're kind of like coveted. So, I mean, everybody gets excited about it. And then whatever's left over at the end of the night, we actually package up and auction off. And there's people that kind of like battle for them. It's funny to watch, but they're so excited to have those wings. In the past, we've donated them to like the local fire department, the local police department, if we have a significant amount. And they also are like, where did you get those? And we're like, well,
we can't tell you.
Yes, it's a secret. I'm sorry.
But like you said, they're marinated the day before. So there's a lot of love and time that goes into prepping for this fundraiser, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So who cooks all your hamburgers then? Or
yes, it's a volunteer group. It's a group of men that are church members here to St. John's United Church of Christ. And they get together earlier in the day and they cook all of those burgers. And then, of course, we put them in some beef broth just to keep them nice and juicy for the event. Because like we said off air, you think you can't screw up a hamburger or a cheeseburger, but you can.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that not only are you coming, we want you to have a good meal. And that's something that we hope that the guests that come understand, that there is a lot of love and a lot of time that goes into it, because I feel like I've been to fundraisers before where the food is kind of an afterthought. And that is not something that we want to have for Cheeseburger in Paradise. So we really do try to make it the best that it can be. And we hope that that's what our guests are experiencing. But we want you to actually feel like what you're purchasing to come to this event, or you doing an auction item or whatever the case may be, that you're really getting your money's worth. And you feel like we care enough about you as a donor and as a community supporter that we're going to put our best foot forward.
How much are tickets then to go? Or are they a piece, or can you do a table grouping too?
It is a table sponsorship. So we have 3 different levels, and it goes from 4, 8, or 16 tickets, depending on how many people you're planning to bring with you. And the 4 tickets is $160. The 8 tickets are $375, and then the 16 tickets are $720. That gives you access to the event. That gets you your all-you-can-eat food. That gets you, we also do it based on whatever table sponsor you get is also how you go in line to eat. So if you're the top table sponsor, you get to eat first.
Eat it first, right?
So some people are like really intrigued by that. They're like, yeah, I'm going to pay for the higher table because I want to eat first. When you have 300 and some people in the same room.
I was going to say, how many people do you usually have?
Yeah, so for the many years ago, before COVID, we sold 40 tables. And sometimes we would have over 400 people present. Mm-hmm. Exciting. Super tight. And so when COVID happened, we could only do a half capacity event. And we realized during that event that even though there was less people there, that it was actually more comfortable and more fun for people because there was more movement. And so now we sell 30 tables total instead of 40. So some tables have 10 people at them. So we're looking at anywhere from 250 to 300 and some that attend the event every year. So you definitely sometimes want to be first in line to eat. There's still food available, I promise. We'll not run out. We've never had a situation when we've run out.
But that's a lot of food to be donated just to serve the meal itself.
Absolutely. And a lot of prep work that goes into that. Even slicing the tomatoes and the lettuce and the onions that go for the toppings on the burgers. That's donated by our local IGA. But our kitchen staff prepare that ahead of time, so that way we're not having to worry about that. Same thing with like the cheese slices. If you've ever gotten a cheese donated from somewhere, it comes in a block. Mm-hmm. So that all has to be separated, and our kitchen staff separates all of that and puts it all on a plate so that it's easy to grab. So there is a ton of prep work just in the food portion, let alone the rest of the event.
If someone can't make it, and this may be a reach, and for asking this question, can't make it there and donate, can they donate their time helping you prep for the meal, prior to that? Are you looking for volunteers for that too as well? Say, hey, I can't, obviously make it to Cheeseburger that night, but I want to donate my time, like you said, cutting, slicing tomatoes or cutting onions. Are you looking for volunteers?
Absolutely.
For there?
Yeah,
too?
we're always looking for volunteers, whether it be the night of the event, preparation leading up to the event. I even have local community members that help me collect and solicit donations. So I'm only one person. I have a committee, but they're also in other counties because they're board members. So even having some people that are very familiar with their county, know a lot of people, have a lot of connections, step up and say, hey, I know I'm not an employee or a board member of Community Action, but I would love to help you collect some donations. That's amazing. So even volunteering time to do that. If you know a lot of people and you think you could ask people for donations, that's a great way to donate your time and to give back to the agency as well as the event. There's also, if you aren't somebody that likes to volunteer, which I know that some people are not a huge fan of that, we also host an online auction that starts 10 days prior to the in-person event. So if you want to support the event, you can't attend or you don't normally attend, you can still support this event and our agency by participating in the live auction or the online auction. And that starts on the 16th. So, you have about 10 days before that. And the last couple of years, we've had like 40 some items just in our online part that you can actually purchase.
So what counties does Community Action serve? Not just Logan County itself, where the main office is at. What other counties do you
Yeah, so we actually have a 6-county service area that includes DeWitt, Mason, Menard, Payette, and Fulton. Of course, Logan as well. And it's all rural. So we have a very spread out service area. And one of the things that we changed post-COVID was we want to support all of our service area. We want to support all of our businesses that work in those areas. So we kind of started doing a tourism auction item where each county, we wanted them to donate something, and we put that kind of in a package together to say, hey, go spend the day in Havana. There is a lot of cool places in Havana. Yeah. I did not realize that until some of these donations started to come in. Fulton County has a lot of wineries. And so we had, like, one year we had a winery, like a travel winery package where you could go to all the different places and kind of enjoy that. Petersburg has some amazing places. One of my daughter's favorite stores is in Petersburg. So, you start to forget some of these small towns and the revitalization that they've done in those areas, and being able to kind of support them while we are supporting our agency is even better. And it sometimes doesn't take a lot. We'll have one business that will do a $25 gift card, and then we'll have another business that will donate something else. And once you put that package together, it's worth a couple of $100s, and you get to go spend a day in a really cool area. So we really want to encourage everyone, not just Logan County participants, to donate, to attend, and just to participate in general. We have people that go on the online auction from Florida.
Really?
Yes. They usually have some type of connection, whether that's a family member that's utilized our services or whatever.
They may be snowboarding, not boarding, but snowbirding down there.
They might be snowboarding.
They could be snowboarding, yeah. Mother Nature's, always surprising us. But anyway, so they could be, down there for the winter and then saying, hey, we can't make it to Cheeseburger, so we can actually, bid online.
Yes, and that's something we did, again, after COVID. We used to do a silent auction, and so we thought, how can we do this differently? And online is kind of where it's at and where it's going, and we've had such success with our online auction. We use a platform that's very user-friendly. They can do like an auto bid, just kind of like eBay. If you know in your mind that you're going to spend this much money on this item, it will do an auto bid for you. It sends a text message once you've been outbid, so it kind of gets that adrenaline pumping, and it gets really exciting. Even our own staff participate in it too, and they're just like the regular people. They don't get special treatment because they're staff. They have to bid just like everybody else, and it's funny because they're like, oh, are you bidding on that? Are you bidding on that? So it kind of gets that competition.
You don't know who you're bidding against.
No.
It's all hidden, basically.
Yes, so I can see because I have admin rights. So I know who's bidding against who. But nobody else can see that. So you don't have any idea if you're bidding against your best friend or your coworker because it's all hidden from you. So it makes it kind of exciting.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Neat. Well, we're going to take a quick time out and come back with Breann and talk more things going on at Community Action. And we're back on 96.3 FM, WLCN on Viewpoint. We have Breann Titus with us from Community Action, and hopefully getting everybody hungry for wings and cheeseburgers for Cheeseburger in Paradise and
margaritas.
Oh, we did not mention that.
There is a cash bar that has
food, fill you up, and that'll lead us into, you get a good meal and everything, and that leads us into work camp.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about work camp coming up.
Yeah, so this year has been a little interesting. Usually my 100% focus is Cheeseburger, and that's kind of my biggest event for this year, but we've got work camp for Lincoln this year also. So Cheeseburger happens April 27th, and work camp happens June 16th through the 22nd. So it's very back-to-back this year. But we did a work camp in 2021. It was at half capacity due to COVID, but we were able to help 25 residents in Lincoln and Logan County with home repair. No cost to the resident. We built 7 wheelchair ramps.
Wow.
We did some painting. We did some porch repair. We did actually some roof patching. We had actually one roof that we, based on the level, because these are youth that are doing some of the work, they didn't have the level of knowledge and skill to do a roof repair that needed for one home. But the local church that was working on it, that pastor actually called his congregation to tell him about this house, and that congregation actually paid for a full roof repair.
Oh, wow.
Because it is a mission-driven type of work camp. It is, a lot of churches will come and things like that, youth groups for different churches, but it kind of gets a flow of going when you're doing the home repair and you're like, but I want to do more. How can I do more? So this year we're able to do a full capacity for work camp, and so we have 60 to 70 homes that we will be doing home repair on.
Oh, wow.
So we're very excited. We get to do a little bit of beautification. We get to do, like I said, some accessibility stuff, because a lot of people, they need wheelchair ramps. There's nobody in town that does a lot of it, or they can't afford somebody to do that. And let's be real, a lot of our construction companies, they're doing bigger projects than just a wheelchair ramp, and the cost sometimes to build one
I
is
say the
intense.
materials are rising too. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get local kids to come in and help you with work camp, or is it outside? It's somebody like you said, mission work, outside of our area coming to help with all of these projects?
Yeah, so we actually partner with a national organization called Group Missions, and they're the ones that they host several different mission trips throughout the United States, and even internationally, and work camp is one of those that they do. And so these youth groups come from all over. We actually had, in 21, we had a local group. It was an all-girls group that was from Lincoln Christian Church. That's typically rare, I've been told, because who wants to stay in your hometown for your mission or your work camp? They want to go somewhere really cool. But they were able to do an all-girl thing. Karen Elaine from Good Bones was here. She actually was the site supervisor for that group, so it was kind of a girl power type of thing.
Oh, how neat.
And that was very exciting. I haven't heard that we have a local group this year, but Todd Henry, who helps manage this with me and has kind of brought this to Lincoln, he's been doing group work camps for over 20 years, and he goes to all these places. He's been all over the country doing these and kind of helping supervise, because it takes a lot of manpower and it takes a lot of adult supervisors, because even though these are youth that are doing the work, they're being supervised by adults or supervised by professionals, so they're learning a skill as they're helping these residents.
Oh, neat. So how many homes, is there still applications open, available, or people needing help, I should say?
Yep, absolutely.
To apply. So
yeah.
What's the process on that for
Sure.
them?
So if you want to apply for this home repair, there is no income requirement. Our target population is senior citizens, disabled, veterans, and low income. However, we do not ask for your income when you apply. So you go to CAPCIL.info, which is our website. There is a page, Work Camp for Lincoln, and you can actually apply right there online. If you're not somebody that typically does online applications, that's okay. You can also come to the office here in Lincoln at 1800 5th Street. Or you can call us at 732-2159. We can mail you something. But they have to fill out a pre-qualification survey. Basically what that is just kind of marking some of the things that they need done on their home. They do have to provide and verify that they are the homeowner. This cannot be a renter. It has to be a homeowner. So they have to verify that. And then we have a local assessment team made up of volunteers. Todd Henry is included in that, that actually go to their home to do a local assessment. So they can talk to the homeowner, set a realistic expectation, because there's not some stuff they're like, oh, I need a whole new roof. Well, that's not something that we can help with, because we're dealing with a youth skill set. But we maybe can refer you to somebody else. So they go and do a local assessment, and then we select 60 or 70 homes, depending on what that looks like. And then those are the homes that we work on during that week. And it's 1 week. They come in 300, 400 kids come in to our town for 1 week, and they do all of this home repair in that week's time, and then they leave.
Where are the kids going to stay at?
Interesting question. So in 21, they actually stayed at Lincoln Christian University in the dorms, which was apparently very high end in normal work camp situations. This year, they're actually going to be staying at Lincoln High School. And they actually just kind of like have like a cot situation because most of the time they're working. That's what they're here for. But we do also provide some really awesome meals, and we provide live entertainment for them while they're here. So we do try to make it a very fun week for them, but also knowing that their purpose here is working and providing this home repair for these residents and really connecting with these residents. It's so awesome to see these young kids talking with some of our residents, especially some of our older residents, and kind of having that multi-generational relationship, which is amazing. And just seeing the mysterious ways that, love is working and kindness is working in our world when you have these kids that are like, we just want to help you, which is amazing. So they're going to be staying at Lincoln High School. We are hoping to bring in 21, we did a tour of Lincoln restaurants. So we had like Gazzardo's, and we had Chi, and we had Mexican and El Maz, and we had all these different things to kind of try all of our local favorites. And so the kids really, really liked that because you don't normally get to experience all that. And all of the supplies are purchased locally.
Really?
Yes.
So everything stays local. And again, if it's a homeowner here, not just in the city of Lincoln, but in the county, and Lincoln County can apply for this then.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, between the volunteer hours that this brings, as well as the economic impact, it's amazing. The kids get a free afternoon. And so a lot of times they visit our local businesses and they purchase items from those local businesses. They go to some of our local restaurants. And like I said, all of the supplies, all the wood, everything that we need is all purchased locally. All the equipment that's rented is all done locally. So we're really bringing and feeding our economy while doing this project.
That's neat. Working kind of hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Breann, thank you so much for coming out to the Radio Ranch, talking cheeseburgers, wings, and fixing homes. And
what a great combination.
What a great combo. So thank you. So the Lord and weather willing, we'll be back next week on WLCN on Viewpoint.